Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
Everything is bigger in Texas, and this week's brand is no exception. With a revenue of over $43 billion in 2023, it ranked fifth on the Forbes list of privately owned American companies. But their revenue isn't the only thing that's big. With stores as large as 182,000 square feet, they have plenty of room to stock fan-favorite items like Creamy Creations ice creams, That Green Sauce, and of course, Butter Tortilla scented candles. Created by a woman over 118 years ago, it's become one of the most beloved brands in Texas and has developed a cult-like following. And while I've never had the opportunity to visit one myself, Marissa and I did receive a box full of their products and a very sweet letter from brand freak Julie in Texas, who thought it would make a great episode for our pod. And I couldn't agree more. And that's why our first very special fan brand episode of On Brand is on the legendary Texas grocery store, H-E-B.
You're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. As always,
I'm Jon.
I'm Marissa.
So I have a lot of different things I could talk about right now.
Yes.
I've made a bunch of bullet points, and I don't know which one to go with.
Okay.
So I'm just going to randomly look at my list. Oh, here's one. So you know how I have been told a couple of times since we've started the pod that I look like somebody?
Yes.
Or they could easily tell what decade I was born in, and it was a decade much earlier than I was actually born in.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at a party on Friday night, and, you know, I'm having fun, hanging out with my friend Leah. She's always a good time. This woman comes over who's a friend of Leah's. I don't know her at all. And starts talking, and like, I'm cracking jokes as I tend to do.
Yes.
And then she looks at me and she's like, "You are so attractive."
Oh my God.
Okay, this is what I need here. I don't deal well with compliments, but deep down I like to get them. But I'm not like, "Oh my God, thank you." In my head, I'm like, "You're wrong." So she's like, "No, you were just a very attractive man. You remind me of Captain Kangaroo." And I was worried you may not know who Captain Kangaroo. If you're listening, do you know who he is?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It predates me slightly, but yes, I'm aware pop culturally.
For the record, a show started in the 50s. He predates a lot of us.
My mom watched Captain Kangaroo. There
Exactly.
You go. Yes.
Bobo listened to it. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I shut down. I'm like, I don't know how to process this. Thank you. I was like, she could tell. And in my head, he was so old. And then like, conversation continues. Her and Lee are talking, so I'm like on my phone, like
Furiously Googling image
Captain
search.
Kangaroo. And then I look him up. I'm like, oh, okay. One, she's not totally wrong. I do kind of look like him.
Okay, wait, hang on.
Two.
Can I pull the picture of him right
Pause for everyone to pull him up.
now? Okay, everybody, you're Googling, so go open Safari, Captain Kangaroo, spelled just like it sounds. We're going to get a live reaction. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's not okay. So, like, right. I see, like, he's kind of like jolly and he has like nice eyes.
Stunning blue eyes.
That's what I think she was trying to get at. I just think there's other ways to get there.
Both blonde.
We're both blondes. He kind of has that cult haircut where you have really high bangs that a lot of people in cults have. I don't have that. Anyway.
It might have been more like an essence, you know.
Where are his ears?
Oh.
Okay, upon further inspection, he also does not have ears.
The earless children's show host?
Wow. This is really fun. All I'm seeing is Halloween costume 2024. That's all I'm seeing. You need to get a red jacket with white piping, and you are set. West Hollywood Parade. Be there, be square.
But it was also one of those things. Like in my head, immediately I thought old man who hosted Kid Show. I looked him up. When he started hosting that show, 28 years old.
Oh my God.
28 years old. It was like he was born in whatever. When it was like literally like 28 years. I mean, who was on a while? Maybe he's in his 30s there, but he's not even an old man.
We love seeing old sitcom stars and seeing how they were actually like 32, but they looked 100.
Right. Like you think about your like grade school teacher, Mrs. Bray. She just seemed like this old woman. She was probably 22.
Yeah, people used to age a little faster back then.
Well, it's like that meme that when J-Lo like swang in the Super Bowl. And she's like on that thing and like, this is 50 now, and 50 in the 80s was the Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls, yeah.
So yeah, I do think we have aged. We're aging slower and better.
Yeah, you're gorgeous.
Thank you. I'm Captain King. So far this year, just if this is on your bingo card, I've been told I am absolutely definitely born in the 60s. I'm not. I look like Newt Gingrich. I don't. Ish.
Well.
And I look like Captain Kangaroo. So there you go. All right. Well, we're almost at the show. I do want to bring up one other thing.
Yes.
I have, since our last recording, actually since the C's recording, when your one big gripe about C's candy is that they don't play music in the store. I have reached out to several C's employees to see what their thoughts are on this. I've called them on the phone.
Which, by the way, Shep got 2 pieces of C's candy last week, and he also commented that especially if the store is empty and you walk in, it's like walking into an abandoned hospital. It's like very eerie. No music.
I think you guys are just hyper focused on it.
No, ambiance. 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 And I don't care about music in general. Like, I don't really care or listen to music.
Yeah, I'm very aware.
But to me, music is ambiance. I don't care what it is. Set the mood. Okay, so you reached out to C's
So I've reached out to
employees.
several people. It's kind of all over the place. 2 people said they hear the music from outside and the mall and stuff, so it doesn't bother them if their store's not playing music. It might be different if you called like a freestanding C's, like the one up by Descanso Gardens.
Yes, even the one in this mall is a closed door C's. Not like if you were in an indoor mall, there's probably no door, and maybe you're getting the like Katy Perry coming from the Foot Locker next door.
There did seem to be a couple of people that seemed a little just hesitant to answer at all.
They thought you were a reporter?
Like maybe an undercover shopper. Like they didn't want to be exposed their true thoughts of the music.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't have a definitive answer. No, but nobody was like, oh my God, finally someone brought this up.
Well, you know who probably doesn't want music playing in a store is the person working there, because from what I hear, you listen to a limited playlist and it does get very annoying. Like seasonal workers will complain about like the holiday music and just how annoying it is. So sure, it's not for them. It's for us, the candy shoppers.
And I did a little independent research also. And sometimes...
Don't you have a job? Again, what are you doing?
I go down these rabbit holes for the pod.
Is this during your 9 to 5, 5 days a week?
That's why my eyes are so bloodshot. I haven't slept in 3 weeks. It can be expensive to subscribe to some of those music services for stores. So maybe C's uses it. Oh, and can I just say,
Sure.
I did go to C's because I bought a half-price Valentine heart of candy, which I was very excited that they still had. They had 3 sizes left: 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound.
And
I bought the 1 pound. I mean, that seems like enough already. The 3 pound was half off, and at half off, it was over $70. It's $140 box of candy.
it's like the heart-shaped box with the bow.
Yeah, and it's really heavy.
That box is really, really expensive. I got it 1 year for Valentine's Day. It is so beautiful and classic, but I remember keeping it in my garage for like years and years and being like, honestly, you don't buy this expensive box again. Get a regular box and refill this one. And then eventually I think it got like water damage. But
He's just pouring a bag of M&Ms in that old box. Happy Valentine's.
And the 2 pound box, this year I got a 2 pound box instead of last year's 3 pound. Because like when you're ringing up 3 pounds of candy, that feels like a little insane. 3 pounds.
3 pounds is a lot.
So this year I was like, let's show some restraint. 2 pounds. That 2 pounds of candy. And remember, it's not just a household of just us. We have friends over. Sure, you may have indulged in a few pieces.
I probably had 4 or 5 pieces.
That 2 pound box lasted 4 days.
Yeah.
And it like the pace, when you get towards the dregs, you're like, we got to slow down because it's like about to be gone in 2 days.
Yeah, it goes quick. Maybe next year, drop $140 and get the 3 pound box.
So
All right,
good.
so let's get started with the show. Before we start, I do.
You have so many before we start.
I know.
love it.
I just want to say, Alistair, this one's for you. I would normally turn my phone off because I know if it goes off, you don't want that sound, but I can't turn it off today.
Ooh, are you expecting a call?
I'm waiting for a tweet.
Tweet.
I'm waiting for a tweet.
Waiting for a tweet. Oh, they're not called tweets anymore. They're called like X's.
X's. I'm waiting for an X.
Are they called
What's his
X's?
name? Is it just called an X?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm waiting for an X.
Okay. From who?
Oh, good. I'm glad you asked. From Ariana Grande's team. They quickly sold out of the signed CDs in just 9 minutes, but they've posted that they're going to release some more. So I have to wait for the tweet.
So we're going to have to stop down mid-record for you to buy an Ariana Grande CD?
If they happen to drop during the show.
Dear God, John.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are.
Have you sold your Arnold Schwarzenegger book yet?
I did.
You did?
Not yet.
Oh.
But I will when he dies. And it's worth 4 times as much.
He seems pretty healthy.
I beg to differ, but we'll see what happens with them. Okay, so before we start, do you have an update?
On Apollo 13, yeah, they made it back to Earth safely. Remember a few weeks ago I told you I watched the first half of Apollo 13.
I meant on your Old Navy package.
Well, I finished it and they made it back to Earth safely. News to me.
Well, great. Thanks for spoiling it. I guess one more movie I don't have to watch.
My shipping update is that I have still not heard anything from the package thief. The consensus is these are some ideas of what I should do. David said I should send a duplicate package every day until she confronts me. I was like, I feel so embarrassed. He was like, no, I think you should send another one. Repeat the same order. Send them every day. And then Al suggested I have a shirt shipped to the address that looks like it's a package for me, but then when she opens it, it's a t-shirt that says, I steal packages. So these are all good ideas. If anybody has an idea on what I should have shipped to this address, let me know.
That's pretty good.
In a message.
Have you thought at all that maybe she thought the second package was you giving her a gift as an apology for the first time you went over to her home?
At 7 p.m.
What if you just ended up getting like a thank you card from her?
Yeah, it's really complicated. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Have you haven't reached out to Old Navy again to have them fix their mistake?
Yeah, we'll see what they can do to make it right.
Okay, good. Well, we're all on the edge of our seats.
I'll
Let us
keep you
know what
posted.
happens with that. So I know I didn't talk to you about this episode beforehand. I thought it would be fun. You know, we get so many lovely messages and DMs from the brand freaks who tell us like they look forward to Wednesdays. We've made their road trip better. They've answered trivia questions. So I thought it'd be fun if this year we start giving back to them a little bit and on occasion have a brand freak fan episode of a brand that they want to do, a brand that we don't know much about. We knew nothing about this brand at all. So I didn't want to keep that from you because that seems like something that we should discuss, but I also wanted to surprise you with it. But going forward, I think it would probably make more sense if like we let people know we're doing that and we have like a day where everyone can throw in their suggestions and we'll pick one from then or something. So it's kind of an even playing ground.
That's very fun. This is a step in the right direction where we have like a fan convention, an on-brand con.
Wait. And we're like Gwyneth Paltrow. Like the first year, like we do like 4 talks. Each year we do less talks until we're just like FaceTiming it in.
Yeah,
like,
1 20-minute FaceTime on the veranda.
And you lead a yoga session. Yeah.
Boxes of Panera sandwiches.
So I thought it'd be fun. So Julie, I didn't even let Julie know that we were doing
how
this.
fun. Hi, Julie.
So we'll reach out to her on Instagram and let her know that this is coming. But
she's like, I unsubscribed from the pod.
Well, it's funny you say that because I looked her up. I looked her up on Instagram and it looked like she hadn't posted anything in like a month or two. And I was like, oh God, she's gone. And then just this week, she made a comment on one of our things. And I was like, thank God Julie's back.
Okay, Julie. Well, this one's for you.
Yeah, Julie, this episode is for you. So we're doing a grocery store, which we haven't done one in a while. But since we're doing a grocery store, I wanted to ask you, you had a problem for a while. Every time you went to Trader Joe's, you had to poop. And I was wondering if that was something that still is happening.
You know, that was, I don't know if I would call it a recurring problem.
It happened more than once, right?
It was 3 times in a row.
Okay,
3 consecutive visits.
Right. So every time you went to Trader Joe's, I'd get a text from you like, I don't know what's happening. I just stepped into Trader Joe's and I'm running to the bathroom.
It was like when you're first getting comfortable going to the grocery store COVID era, and for some reason, like the exhilaration, the stress, the thrill of it, it was like stage fright almost. I was back on the stage in the grocery store and I was throwing my cart aside and racing to the bathroom, which Trader Joe's does have a very well-appointed bathroom. My issue with grocery store bathrooms in general is that you have to like go back into like the freezer to access them sometimes.
Oh my God. When you're at a Vons and like, yeah, it's right through there. And you're like,
I'm like on a loading dock.
yeah,
Like
there's like pallets of cereal and stuff. And you're like walking sideways. I'm always scanning for a rat because you know that there's rats back there.
you know that there's rats back there.
I feel like in those loading docks areas of grocery stores,
Oh.
of course, there's always going to be rats.
Wow. I mean, it feels like it was a really weird place to like send like an 11-year-old, like you're grocery shopping with your mom and it's like, I have to pee. It's like, just go in the grocery store. It's like, hello? Like those like butcher shop flaps, like to keep like the cold air in. And you're like, is this the right way? Like no signs, like lights flickering dark,
An
chalks.
ashtray, like all these things you shouldn't see
Yeah,
anymore.
it was really weird. And the fact that there's still like, that's still the norm at like a lot of grocery stores, I don't like. As somebody who, sure, 3 times in a row, I did have to use the facilities in an emergency manner.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was like, earlier today, this is one of the last things I researched for the show. I was like, I wonder if there's like a psychological reason why she had to go to the bathroom. And it's apparently a common thing.
Really? With grocery stores?
With stores in general, like department store, like a
Interesting.
lot of different things. And there's no scientific reason why, but people have listed that anger, anxiety, sadness, or elation can all be connected to things going on in your gut.
But that is so funny that like your body's response, if you're elated, is to like drop a big dookie in your pants. Like what evolution is that? You know where I hear people have it? And I remember this from specifically like being a teenager, going to like Borders Books and Music or Barnes and Noble, a big gigantic bookstore. And
Yeah.
it's like the toilet's on the 3rd floor, getting that escalator.
God. I'm glad that doesn't happen every time you're excited or elated, though. Imagine your wedding.
I
Or
mean,
like
imagine doing the pod.
Imagine the pod or any surprise party.
I'm always elated when I'm with you, John.
Aw, that's why you always smell like crap.
That's why I'm wearing a diaper.
Oh, gross. Okay. For real, we're about to start the show. I have one more thing I
Okay.
have to say. It's something that I wish that I didn't even have to bring up in the episode at all,
Okay.
but I literally have no choice.
Wow. I'm on the edge of my seat. That's me pooping my pants. I'm so excited.
The B in HEB stands for butt. We're going to be saying butt a lot in this episode.
It's going to be really hard to keep it together and not get silly if I'm hearing a word for tushy.
You seem to have a thing with butt since we've started the pod.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to know, they talk about the Butt family doing this, the Butt
Okay.
family going through hard times,
That
and
is
then the
pretty
Butts
fun.
did this. There's a lot of butt talk. I'm going to try to curb it so that you're not
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to hold it together.
inundated with butts. But
My eyes are now just like 2 cheeks.
all right. So here's some fast facts about HEB. They've been in business 118 years. $43 billion in sales, 154,000 employees, and over 430 stores only in Texas and Mexico.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Texas and Mexico. Wow. That's unexpected.
Yeah, that's the only place that they are. All right, so shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
So it's September 19th, 1864.
Feels like clip clops again.
Oh, man. This is definitely a clip-cloppy little part of the show. Florence Thornton was born into a farming family in Mississippi, so it's the end of the Civil War. She was a very intelligent woman, went to college. According to some reports, she was the only woman that attended her college.
Wow.
So at age 24, she married Charles Clarence Butt. He was...
I get one giggle. That's it. All
All right, that's it. He was 40, so he was, significantly older than her and a widower, and he ran a drugstore. According to their wedding announcement, he was an accomplished gentleman and a popular citizen, and she was a lady of rare intelligence.
Ooh.
They had 3 children. They lived in Mississippi and Tennessee, and then he became quite ill with tuberculosis. That was a tough one back then.
Tuberculosis. That's the old Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge. Cough and blood and do a hanky. Yes.
Is that what she had?
I think so.
Oh, God. How much did you love Moulin Rouge? Oh, don't tell me.
In the Red Curtain trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
for me, Romeo and Juliet was my number 1. I have a tough time with Nicole Kidman.
Across the board? Because I have a
Yeah.
tough time with Nicole Kidman as
Same.
but I don't mind. Oh, God, did I love her in Moulin Rouge? Now that you say that, maybe I just tolerated her.
We
I
love
love
Ewan
McGregor,
McGregor.
though.
Oh my
God. My heart would flutter. Like, he was perfection. Maybe I just tolerated Nicole Kidman. Maybe someone would have been better in there other than her. But who? At that time, who? Demi Moore?
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Sure.
Anyway, that's not even what the show's about. Tuberculosis.
I can't hear tuberculosis without seeing Nicole Kidman in my mind being like,
And then she pulls it back and there's a little bit of red food dye on it. And you're like, oh no, here she goes. Yeah, so at the time, there's no antibiotics for tuberculosis. So one of the things they said that could cure it or help it is if you live in a very warm, dry climate.
whoa.
The family packs up. That's how they end up in Texas.
Wow.
So they end up in what is
Diagnosis cactus.
take 2 cacti and call me never, because you'll probably be dead anyway. You know how these things turn out.
Uh-huh.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
So they ended up more than likely, they ended up in like a tuberculosis camp.
Whoa.
So they ended up in Kerrville, Texas. And apparently this was a place that was popular for people with tuberculosis to go. There was like a tent camp along the river. And that's where people would go to try to stave off tuberculosis. So all of a sudden, she's in a completely different state. She's got 3 children, possibly a stepson. I was a little unclear if he came with the family or not.
Wow.
And a very sick husband. So she needs to figure out how she is going to provide for this family. She's a very, as I said, resourceful, smart woman. She starts doing door-to-door sales for A&P, which by the 1920s would become the largest grocery retail in the world. She would visit people's homes, find out what they needed, come back and deliver them to them. Apparently one woman like slammed the door in her face and was like, I don't deal with people like you, or something. Like she was below her, and that really put her off. And she's like, okay, screw this. This is not how I want to spend my life. There has to be a better way to do this. So she reaches out to friends and family back home. She puts together $60, which is about $2,100 today.
Okay, wow.
$60. She rents a 2-story building on Main Street in Kerrville. The family moves into the 2nd floor, and she opens up. Uh-oh, my phone. Okay, it's not Ariana Grande. They
Incoming call, Ariana G.
Hold, please. 2 copies of the CD.
2?
Of course.
Why 2?
Of course 2.
Why?
You're lucky it's not 3.
I'm lucky.
Anyway, there's a really great photo. She makes the main floor the store. And there's a fantastic photo of her in this store. And we'll put that on Instagram when we put our like supplemental stuff on it. And then on November 26, 1905, she opened what would become the first Butt family grocery business. The business, in its first month, grossed about $50, a little over $50. So she's already grossed almost as much as she's borrowed.
Wow.
Which is fantastic.
Wow, that's crazy. $50. What's that nowadays? Inflation machine?
Well, $60 was...
$2,100.
Right.
Okay, so we're around 2,000.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She is a sharp cookie.
I know. It's nice to have like a woman at the helm of this.
I think this is our first female-owned business.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's not her like claim to fame. You know what I mean? She was already a celebrity, already famous. The true rags to riches story that is our bread and butter on this podcast is like the person with the wheelbarrow full of fish. This is the equivalent. It's like a woman with like 2 nickels to rub together and she's going to turn it into an empire. So this to me is like the true version of the first female-owned business.
Yeah. And one of the things that's kind of frustrating about it is there seems to be conflicting stories on what she called the business at the beginning.
Okay.
If you look at most articles, they say that she called it the CC Butt Grocery.
Okay. CC Butt. I mean, come on. You're writing the jokes for me.
This is what I was worried
CC
about
Butt.
the whole time.
That's okay. So that's not the name, I'm guessing.
Well, I believe there was...
Booty hole, cheek. Like what? Come on. If your name is Butt, I see the move to the acronym, let's just say.
Yes, we'll get there.
That's smart.
Some believe, and I am choosing to believe, that she originally called it the Mrs. CC Butt Staples and Fancy Groceries.
Yes, what you choose to believe?
That's what I'm choosing to believe she
Okay.
called it. And then she changed the name to CC Butt Grocery because business at that time in America, it was more socially acceptable for a business to have a man's name than it was a woman's name.
Wow.
So I think she went out on a limb. She called it after her for whatever reason. Maybe sales weren't quite where she wanted.
People are like, I don't trust buying a potato from a woman.
A Miss CC, but no, thank you. No, a Mr. CC, but I'll take 2. Yeah, who knows why? But
a weird time.
So that is the story as I choose to believe it.
Me too.
The store at that time, they would have sold bread and spices. They would have had staples like sugar and salt and flour. They probably would have had cheeses and meats that would be carved for you.
Nice.
They would probably have buckets of different things like nuts and crackers that you would scoop out of buckets.
Buckets of nuts and crackers.
Yeah, buckets of nuts and crackers.
Okay.
I mean, it was 1905.
I'm glad I wasn't around them. Talk about rats in the grocery store.
I mean, I'm so grateful that...
Can you imagine?
I mean, I think we'll even look back at when we grew up and be like, gosh, it was so primitive. But man, oh man, I would not have survived back in those days.
No.
Oh, it's really fun. When you end up looking at the picture on Instagram, there's a couple of name brands you can spy in it.
Fun.
The picture's not great, but if you look closely at the top, you'll be able to see...
Band-Aid.
No.
Colgate.
No. The Goop Egg.
The Jade Egg from
The Jade
Goop.
Egg from Goop. It's like a Back to the Future moment. You're like, wait a second.
Wait a second.
No, a very large boxes of Jell-O.
Whoa.
Large boxes, not like the small packets we know today.
Wow, that's interesting. Jell-O brand, Jello.
Jello.
Jell-O Jigglers.
And then Kellogg's, I believe, cornflakes, but I
Interesting.
couldn't read what it actually was, but Kellogg's boxes are in there
I
also.
love that crossover. This movie, I can already see the movie. This is really fun. I see the tuberculosis camps. Who is it? Emma Stone,
Matt
Florence
Damon's not
Pugh.
going to play CC
And
Butts.
she has a husband, an old sick husband.
Yeah, CC Butts. He's not going to be like, yes, I'll play the tuberculosis patient that dies before the story gets going. We'll have to find, he'll have to be like the mayor of
Yeah,
Kerrville.
we can make him the mayor. Sure.
Yeah. All right, so just to give you kind of like the idea of what grocery stores were like at this time, they were more like a full service affair. So you would go in, you would tell the people what you needed, and then they would get all the things for you. They would gather your cans, they would cut your cheese and your meat.
Wow, this is very Target curbside pickup.
I wish. I love Target curbside pickup.
That's really funny. Because I feel like I didn't know that that was a thing back then, like where you didn't do your own grocery shopping. And now we're kind of returning to that with like, you know, ordering online or the curbside pickup where you fill up your cart and then they just bring it to you. It feels so luxurious.
Well, let us get a decade ahead, and I have some thoughts on that as well. So, yeah, you would basically let them know what you want. They would gather it all together. More than likely, you would pay on credit. You would just leave the store, and then the groceries would be delivered to you. So you just walk in, here's my list, here's what I need, here's what I'm thinking for the week, and then go about your shopping.
Wow. I mean, that will like be the future except with robots.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. We saw that robot delivering food on Melrose the other day.
I wonder if that's everywhere. But in LA, and this is something I like just barely learned about. We were doing an escape room on Melrose, which is a street in Los Angeles. And there were so many of these little like R2-D2 sized robot delivery machines.
And the only time I've ever seen them is on Melrose. I think they only deliver on Melrose, and they don't look like a high-tech robot from 2080. They look like a found robot from 1980 that's got like
Wall-E.
a pizza in it.
It's very like Speak and Spell kind of. It has like eyes, like little like LED eyes, and it delivers takeout to your house via sidewalk. So it travels on the sidewalk slower than the speed of a person walking. So if you are ordering, say, like hot soup, I don't know what temperature that soup is 45 minutes later when this robot like moseys over to your apartment.
And I would say just as often as you see one of these robots slowly making its way down the sidewalk, you see one pushed over by a tree.
Pushed over, upside down in a trash can.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very dystopian. Yeah, as you know, I'm racing to the prairie. Can't get there fast enough.
Even the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, cool. Look what the future beholds. I was like, what is that?
That's terrible.
Oh, the funny thing is, so they would deliver your groceries to you. Florence would have her 10-year-old son make the grocery deliveries.
Oh, cute.
Apparently, according to newspaper articles, at first he would deliver them in baby carriages. Then he moved on to like a wagon. And then eventually got a horse and buggy.
Oh, that's cute.
But I love that we're in a time where a 10-year-old is just set loose to
Put
go
to work.
strangers' homes and take them large boxes of Jell-O.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's her son, Howard. He works at the store through high school, ends up going into World War I, comes back. She gives him the store. He becomes the manager of the store.
Matt Damon with like CGI de-aging.
Of course. This
Yeah.
is Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon is Howard Butt.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Which part are you laughing at?
The butt. It's a funny last
See what you
name.
did, Julie?
It's objectively a very funny last name.
No, I was actually so happy when I saw the name was Butt. I was like, perfect. Perfect fan brand. Okay, so Howard comes in, takes over the company, and with new blood, there's probably going to be some new changes. He wants to be, more modern and of the time. So he visits a Piggly Wiggly grocery store, which I've heard of my whole life. I don't know that I've ever actually been in a Piggly Wiggly.
I haven't either. I only know it as like movie references.
Yeah, I think of it as a Southern thing. But they're doing something quite different than all the other grocery stores, and it's something that he thinks is the wave of the future. So he introduces it into the Butt grocery store, and that is, instead of people coming in with a list and telling you what you want, customers are going to get their own groceries for the first time.
Groundbreaking.
And as soon as I read that, I was like, this is exactly like what we're going through now. Like, I want to see the Marissa of 1920 who's like, I don't work here. Why am I getting my own groceries? This is self-checkout.
This is
literally
self-checkout.
100 years ago.
That is so funny. I wonder if there was somebody like me complaining, which, okay.
There was.
Target rant. I love Target. I was there a week ago with a very grouchy 2-year-old, which if you're in a Target and the line is long, it's not a fun place to be. 15 registers, one open. The line is like 25 people deep. Self-checkout is closed. And they say self-checkout is now limited to only 10 items or under. Every register was closed except one. And it was like, you feel insane when that's happening.
What time was this? Because I went this weekend and it was also just one, but I went early.
This was at probably 11:30 in the morning. So I think it's just like standard practice. I'm like, why do you guys have all these checkouts if only one is ever going to be open?
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It's horrible. It truly is.
Was there a line?
There was a gigantic line, like 20 people.
Oh, God.
And everybody's like, is this the only line? People are like holding their cans like... And we're all like, we feel like we're going crazy because there's people wandering around the store. They're like wandering around doing whatever. It's like somebody open a register.
And they won't even make an exception in self-checkout when there's a long line like that. Like, sure, we
No.
can get a couple you through here.
They relish not making an exception.
Wow.
They relish it.
Target needs a Brand-Aid.
No, they really do.
Luckily, I usually have less than 10 items, so that doesn't. And if I don't, I would honestly just ditch it down till I'm 10. Like, I'll start prioritizing.
Just shoplift the rest.
Yeah. So the reason that he thought that this was a good idea is because they're actually saving a lot of money. They need less employees that are going around getting these things. It's cash and carry now. It's not credit and delivery. So there's no chance of people not paying their bill. So they're saving on that money. There's
obviously. Can you imagine how many people would just never be seen again?
Yeah. In a tuberculosis-ridden town. Like, I got my cheese. Good luck getting your money. And just move on to the next, like a tumbleweed.
You're on your horse. You're out of there.
Oh, my God. Speaking of tumbleweeds, can I just for a second?
Sure.
Have I ever told you how much I love tumbleweeds?
No.
I love tumbleweeds.
What about tumbleweeds?
They're nature's like lonesome travelers. Did you know tumbleweeds? You know how obviously they tumble.
Yes.
They tumble around, they travel around the country, see the world.
Yes.
Then when it rains and they're wedged somewhere, they grow roots. They root and turn into a bush.
Whoa.
And they stick around for a while. And then when it dries out, they break those roots off. They head to Kentucky. I think it is the coolest thing in the world, and I don't think we talk about them enough.
We do not talk about tumbleweeds enough. I had no idea. Is it like one type of plant, or could any plant be a tumbleweed? Or this is just like one breed of
any plant? Hold on.
Is tumbleweed like a behavior, or is it a
I'm
type
going
of
back
plant?
to your first question. Can any plant be a tumbleweed. So like an oak tree.
Yeah, an oak tree. If an oak
Just
tree
breaks
dries up,
off.
snap
Boom,
off.
boom, boom. No, it's like a specific kind of
Wow.
thorny bush.
That
But how
is
cool
really
is
fun.
that?
That's really cool. I actually don't know if I've ever seen a tumbleweed in real life.
Oh, I have. Driving across country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
On the prairies.
On the prairies,
Pretty
there's a lot
neat.
of tumbleweeds. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tweet us your tumbleweed stories.
Yeah. If you've dated a tumbleweed or seen a tumbleweed, please let us know on
If
Instagram.
you've followed a tumbleweed cross country, let us know.
Okay, so that's the 1920s. By the 1930s, Howard has grown the company to have 17 stores. They're already up to $2 million in annual sales. Today, that would be $45 million.
Wow.
So this family from very quickly has turned a very humble little grocery store into what is already a huge company.
That is incredible.
Florence is living her best life. She organizes women groups. She leads a Sunday school program. She helps have a mission built. She gathers food and clothing for those in need and visits people that have tuberculosis. So she's just being a
Upstanding citizen.
yeah, in Kerrville.
We love her.
An iconic citizen of the town. 1934, Howard forms the H.E. Butt Foundation, a charitable organization that's created to aid the community. I bring that up because that becomes a very big part of what H.E.B. is about today. So that started in 1934. In 1935, Howard changed the name of the parent company from C.C. Butt Grocery to his own initials, the Howard E. Butt Company. And in the 1940s, it just becomes his initials, H.E.B.
Love that.
So in the 40s is when we start having the grocery store that we see today.
H-E-B. It's fun to say too. H-E-B.
I know. At first, when Julie sent us those things, I didn't know if it was Heb.
Heb. Do people ever call it Heb?
I don't think they do call it Heb. But H-E-B, they have actually...
That's how you really out yourself as like not being a local. You're like, oh, Heb.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to run to Heb. And like, get them!
Pitchforks.
Now people refer to H-E-B as Here Everything's Better.
Oh,
I don't know when that came
that's
about,
cute.
but that's kind of one of their slogans now. Okay, now I'm going to just plow through a few years with some milestones. In 1936, the company starts to integrate vertically. Do you know what that means?
Vertical
I just
integration.
learned.
Business.
It's a business term.
Yeah.
It's when a company starts taking control. Basically, for them, they're making their own certain
Yes.
products of their own, so they don't have to
Like outsource. It's like
yeah,
they're
rely on
making themselves
outsourcing.
more stages in the supply chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what, that's why I think Julie and a lot of these people really like this company is because now they have it's like Trader Joe's. They have so many of their own like in-house brands that people really connect with and love and can't live without. So that started all the way back in 1936.
Yeah, it's feeling very Trader Joe's-y.
It is. It's like Trader Joe's. It's like Erewhon. It's like Aldi. It's H-E-B. I think they all have found their own niche way of basically having like a cult-like following.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a bad way. I'm a Trader Joe's
my
guy.
gosh.
Like I would go there for anything they do.
Yeah, never. I mean, I like look at the Trader Joe's subreddit and people are like 20 new products that are coming. These are the 15 that are being discontinued. Or people will be like, bought this ketchup flavored sprinkle. Like, what can I put it on? You would never in a million years go to like a Vons or an Albertsons or a Kroger or whatever and be like, I bought this gravy. What do I do with it? Like you would never.
I see that so much with Trader Joe's.
Yes.
It'll just be a picture of someone holding an item. Like, what's everyone doing with this thing? I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
In what world without that kind of fan obsession? I'm sure it's the same at H-E-B. Do you buy something without an intention of how you're going to use it?
Yeah.
Do you like follow the day-to-day like product drops? It's like the Taylor Swift of grocery stores. This is like the Taylor Swift model where it's like your new items, it's like they're here and then they're gone, limited time only. It like creates this kind of like fan fervor that I relate to. I don't relate to being a Taylor Swift fan, but I relate to being a grocery store fan.
You don't have to say you don't relate to being a Taylor Swift fan. We all
I
know that.
don't
But
relate to it, but I get it in terms of condiments and
I'm
dips and spreads.
in the same way that I do find Taylor Swift's rollouts exhausting, I do find Trader Joe's a little exhausting because if you like something, honestly, with someone like me, buy 4 because
Yeah.
more than likely when you go next time, they're not going to be there and you're going to be sad. Or you have to wait till whatever that day was the following year.
Yeah, seasonal. It's brutal.
Seasonal brutal. 1940, H-E-B opens their first air-conditioned stores and stocking frozen foods.
Ooh, Texas. That's good news.
Yeah, no doubt. 1949 is the first time they open one of their like large stores. So this is a 22,500 square foot store. And that's kind of the beginning of some of these stores now are like,
Wow, so they were tiny.
well, the first one was just
Yeah.
like that shack. And yeah, they were kind of more like normal, probably not even as big as like a modern day Vons.
Yeah.
Like I'm curious actually how big like a Vons is. Because I think like a Trader Joe's is about an 11,000 to 15,000 square footprint. So it's twice as big as that. But
Yes.
not that even today doesn't seem too big.
Not on the par of like even a Vons or a Costco.
Yeah, like a Walmart, like grocery store.
Yeah, grocery stores are gigantic now.
The 1950s, they start modernizing more. They have like 12 checkout stands, which seems insane at the time. They've got huge parking lots. They're getting things like pharmacies and a bakery and a fish market and a meat shop. Like those are things that weren't around at that time.
Wow,
so
yeah,
like
this is
that
fun.
probably, this is, in the grocery world, probably a very exciting time to
I
see.
would be beyond thrilled.
Yeah, because you're going to like down the street to get your pills from
Yeah.
whoever and
It's
then to the
one-stop
fish
shopping.
market. Yeah. It's like one-stop shopping.
I'd be like I'm like, oh my God, they have a bakery. Where's the bathroom?
All right, 1971. Charles Butt enters the picture. He's Howard's son and Florence's grandson, and he becomes the president. At this time in 1971, sales are $250 million.
Wow.
One of the big things he does in 1976, I did not mention this, but H-E-B had, by some, been referred to as God's grocer. Because they were not open on Sundays and they did not serve alcohol because Howard did not think that those were appropriate. Well, Charles says they are. So now they're open on Sundays and booze for everybody.
Yeah, not being open on Sundays, that's inconvenient. You're making like a lasagna or something. You're like,
Yeah.
I need some mozzarella. You're screwed.
1994, what else are they going to do? Jump on the organic train. They open a whole new set of stores called Central Market in Austin.
Well, like a spin-off market?
Yeah, they have several of these
Ooh.
now. There's like a Latin-infused
That's
grocery
fun.
store. Central Market is like a gourmet grocery store. They have like a full service kitchen and offer like classes. It's like because it's Austin and Austin's known for music, they usually have a patio and on nights they'll play like live music and stuff.
That's
it's like
cute.
a whole scene.
I love hitting the grocery store up for some nightlife.
Okay, so then in 2000, they introduce H-E Buddy.
Butt buddy? I have no notes.
H-E Butt Buddy.
Butt buddy.
So H-E Buddy is their mascot.
Every
in-
butt needs a buddy.
So H-E-B. So H-E Buddy is their mascot, and he's basically a grocery bag with like a few, and I'll show you just so you can have reference of it.
I feel like I can imagine what he looks like. I want to picture it in my mind and then see how right I am.
All right, tell me when to turn.
Okay, turn, turn, turn. Whoa, I was way off.
Yeah, right?
This feels very 2000s.
It feels like it came with a program.
Yes.
Okay, so I was reading the page with the H-E Buddy mascot, and like it's basically like an interview with him. I don't know who's conducting the interview, but they're like, hey, are you a popular guy? And he's like, I don't know about that, but I really do love people. Maybe that's why I get invited to so many places. I go to parades and basketball and football games and store openings. And I'm like, okay, they're telling us where you can find this mascot. You'll also see me at hospitals, schools, libraries, all sorts of places.
Wait, what's he talking about? Like, because at first I was like, oh, he's talking about like weird, like people bring bags places. Because he's a bag?
I'm assuming
Why is he at the hospital?
I'm assuming to bring joy to kids. Like, I feel like this is the corporate's way of telling us where we might run into H-E Buddy.
or like where you'll find like HEB like products. I'm so confused by this.
Well,
okay.
get ready to
This
get more
meeting.
confused. Question number 2. Do you have a favorite hobby? I like to do all sorts of fun things, like keeping active. In fact, I like to run sack races. Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
a
now-
cute joke.
If we're in the reality that he's a bag, I'm okay. Once that reality breaks, like I'm rudderless.
I couldn't be more on board with that. The answer to this should have been, yes, I run sack races. Period. Next question. He keeps going. But my favorite hobby is reading. I love to go to the library at school or on weekends and check out big, colorful books.
Okay.
What?
You're food. You hold food.
You're a bag.
You're a bag.
Why are you reading the books?
Stay in your lane.
What do you like to eat for snacks? Hey, I'm all about good, healthy food. Okay,
we're back to being a bag.
That's
Yes.
the philosophy of the store. We get it. There's nothing like a bright red apple or a crispy carrot to make me happy. I also love...
Even that.
I know. It's too... Why those two
why
things?
those two things
Wait,
make
are those
me
in his bag?
happy.
Those aren't even in the bag.
I would say something like what always fills me up. Like, because it's a bag. Like, fill up a bag.
Right.
Like, stay in the world.
A bag of anything is great with me, like that.
Yeah.
But then he goes on, I also love Buddy snacks, of course. They're delicious, especially Buddy Grahams. I'm eating some right now. I'm eating some right now.
I'm sorry, buddy. Did we catch you? Are you busy?
I'm sorry. You're in the middle of an interview. Maybe that's why your answers are so confusing.
Also, I'm assuming the same person wrote the questions and the answers. It seems like they are on different planets. Like, you're allowed to ask him whatever you want because you're writing the answer. So come up with whatever question is going to make Buddy easy to understand.
You're so happy and healthy. How do you do it?
Who is this, Oprah?
One word. Exercise.
Okay, so now he's not a bag anymore. This is when you lose me.
I play games, run races, take walks, and sometimes I lift weights. I want everyone at this point to Google AG Buddy and look at his arms. This bag is not lifting any weights. He's got skinny little arms.
So even then if that question of like, how do you stay active or whatever, you look great. I would go back to like, he's still a bag. Let's keep in mind, bags lift heavy things. So maybe like say something about like, he's always able to lift like whatever heavy groceries anybody needs.
Or turn it because bags get lifted. Be like, I would lift weights, but I'm usually getting lifted myself or something like.
I don't know.
No, that's not even that's too much.
Maybe now I'm back on the writer's team. This is tough.
All right, last question.
I wouldn't have given him arms, to be honest.
You just want an armless bag?
Yeah.
Like shuffling down the street?
I think just 2 eyes and a mouth, not even a nose.
Wow.
No legs. Does he have legs?
They're cut off.
Oh, God.
They're cut off.
I
Last
hate
question. What else do you want to tell the boys and girls?
Something deranged, no doubt.
Boys and girls, every day I like to eat good food, stay healthy, play, be kind to other people, and pay attention in school. It just makes me super happy and puts a smile on my face. Why don't you try doing that too? Okay.
Okay, easy.
I'm the parent, Saki, and his name should just be Saki.
So when he's in school, is he the only bag in the class?
I don't know. All I know is right next to the picture of the bag, I wrote Brand-Aid ?
Yeah, we got some thoughts.
I don't know how to fix this.
Lose the arms, lose the legs, name change to Saki, stay a bag, we're done.
Done. Oh, God. So there's that. The 2000s. What a time. This is all right before 9/11. It's
Post-Titanic era.
just after Titanic.
I know.
They're probably thinking so much about the movie they couldn't come up with
Well,
a
and
good
it was
idea.
just like, I mean, what a time to be alive. It's Y2K, it's pre-9/11,
Yeah.
post-Titanic.
All right, and then we're kind of wrapping up the timeline. 2006 with, I mentioned this earlier, like, you know how Trader Joe's has like Trader Jose's food and like
Yes.
different specific things. Well, H-E-B has Mi Tienda brand within the store. That's what branched off as its own store that was basically Latino-themed items and Mexican foods. And
Yummy.
yeah, these places like make fresh tortillas in the store. I think
my
they
God.
pass them out to you when you're shopping, so you can just.
I would love to be munching on a tortilla while I shop.
Me too, a butter tortilla.
I think that would be really good for shopping morale.
In 2008, H-E-B is named as one of the largest grocery store chains in the United States
Wow.
with over $15 billion in sales.
We gotta go. I'm booking my ticket, JetBlue.
I do want to go. I want to go in April to see the eclipse. And the eclipse flights?
Yes.
It's like $1,400 to fly
Oh my
to Austin.
God.
On like Southwest.
Can you fly like 2 weeks earlier and then just have like a fun vacation?
Yeah, just live in Texas for the month to see a 4-minute eclipse. Yeah, I could probably do that.
I didn't know you were such like a moon hunter.
I mean, it's the last eclipse for like 30 years, I think. And I missed the last one. I would really like to see it.
Wow, moon hunter.
If any brand freaks work for an airline and have a companion fare, I could make it worth your while.
You should date a pilot.
Especially if you like Green Day or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Or possibly an Ariana
Maybe.
Grande CD.
Ariana Grande. 2019 revenue is up to $31 billion. Okay, so that's kind of like the nuts and bolts of the store. Now, we haven't really talked about the stores themselves. I've never been to one. I've looked at lots of pictures of them. They look like really cool places. One of the things
fun.
they do that I think is really neat, and this kind of all goes under like, why does it have a cult following? One of the things they do is they try to tailor very much to the community that they're in. So no two store is the same. Like,
That's very Trader Joe's, because each Trader Joe's has a lot of custom like murals to kind of highlight the neighborhood. So I think Trader Joe's does a similar thing where no two stores look alike.
so I did a little research on like, why are, like what we were just talking about, like why are people so loyal to specific grocery stores? And one of the things they were saying is like, there's really nothing more intimate in your life than like, well, maybe there's for normal people. For me,
Nothing.
nothing is more intimate than the food you purchase and that you eat. Sadly, I was like, you're right.
You're
There really
right.
is nothing more intimate in my life.
There's nobody who knows me better than my neighborhood grocer. Wow.
Trader Joe's know me so well. So I was thinking about that. Like, that's true. Like, what we choose to eat. And for so many people, food has so many different
So
meanings.
deeply
It's comfort
personal,
or it's
yes.
like whatever. And especially with a brand like H-E-B, where now they become so known. Like the box that Julie sent us, they were all in-store items.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the cookies were made by H-E-B, the coffee's made by H-E-B.
So good.
The candle. So if you do get really attached to something like that, it's the only place you can get it. It's like people, like, you can get Girl Scout cookies or you can get the Keebler kind of knockoffs, but a lot of people are so attached. I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
The Keebler ones to me are fine and usually cheaper, but a lot of people, now people probably hate me, but a lot of people will only get the Girl Scout cookies.
I think
'cause
that's normal. Yeah, to get super attached to that one thing. It feels special. There's like nostalgia, probably. People probably grew up eating these certain foods.
yeah.
You can't get it anywhere else.
And I was seeing that some of the labels on some of the foods for H-E-B say things like "To Texas with Love" and "Quest for Texas Best." So it is really just like they just love where they're from. And the stores do look, I mean, you should look them up. They look very cool, very modern, really big. Oh, one fun fact that I thought was kind of funny. The largest store is 182,000 square feet, which is equal to...
Wow.
560 of my apartments.
Wow.
560 of my apartments fit in the largest H-E-B grocery store.
You could fit a lot of vinyl records in there.
Oh my God. And signed CDs. And imagine I would have a whole aisle of Peeps pillows.
Imagine how many Peeps pillows.
I would like to try that green sauce. Some of the...
What is the green sauce?
I don't know. It looks like it's like some Mexican sauce that you put...
Is it like creamy or like not
It looks like a
creamy?
verde salsa from what I could tell.
Tomatillo.
Yeah, like some peppery.
Yummy.
They have something called finishing butter. I'm like,
Ooh,
oh,
we love a special
okay.
butter.
We love a finishing salt. I've never heard of a finishing butter.
Is any of it a ship nationwide, or is it all you have to buy in the store?
That's actually a great question. I don't know. I don't know if you can have it shipped here.
Wow, how
you can't have
special.
like Trader Joe's shipped through Trader Joe's. So I don't know if you can with H-E-B.
We gotta
because that's
go.
such a like a third party racket. Like people
Yeah.
will get like
Oh,
the
yeah.
hot, like when everything but the bagel seasoning came out, like people were selling it on eBay for like $20.
Insane. Yeah, you'll see Trader Joe's and IKEA stuff on Amazon just because some of those places, yeah, you can't get it everywhere. I wonder if H-E-B has a strong like third party market as well. If you move out of Texas and you like are desperate for your green sauce, you'll pay anything.
I'm sure they do. I saw stories of people that were really sad after they had left Texas and wanted to get their things. They also have a collab with Whataburger, which is also another iconic Texas brand. So they sell like Whataburgers, like condiments, like mustard and ketchup and spicy ketchup and some of their meats and stuff. They've gone into the grocery aisle. So I thought that was fun. Just more Texas upon Texas.
Our fans in Texas are probably just like loving this.
How could you not?
I hope they're listening to this while they're shopping at H-E-B. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Do you listen to music while you grocery shop?
Sometimes I carry my
Earbuds?
earbuds, ear pods, whatever, everywhere I go.
You know something I've noticed in the past couple years that I've never seen before? Forgive me if we've talked about this on the pod. FaceTiming loudly while you grocery shop. Al, have you seen this? John, have you seen this?
It happened to me yesterday. It was
This
the
is
first time
like,
where I couldn't
what is happening?
believe how loud it was happening.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. It's like their boyfriend is at home or their roommate's at home, and you'll just see like the little person's head like on the screen, like filling up the screen, and they're walking around. They're like, so they don't have oven roasted turkey, but here, let me show you. And they're like showing like their friend whatever they have on the rack, and you're like, this is bizarre.
I can't imagine
It's
that
too
as
much.
someone that has to do everything on their own.
You do not need a grocery consultant.
I mean, listen, it's a nice life if you can have it, I guess, for that person.
I
They're
don't
just like,
know. That's not something I had seen before, like the past few years. Al, you've seen that too, yeah? FaceTiming in the grocery store. What is going on?
It's ridiculous.
If you do it, let me know why, because I'm confused. I'm baffled. I just do an old-fashioned handwritten grocery list.
Have you seen, I've seen videos where it's usually a wife sending a husband out to grocery shop, and she will make him a big poster board
Yes,
with like
with the
a
wrappers.
photo of like, the wrappers of every item that he's supposed to get so that he doesn't get confused.
Yes, I relate to that. Some of the cliches against husband and wives, married life, some of them are deeply rooted in reality, and that is one of them.
There was also one I saw. I mean, it may have just been a joke. It seems like it would have been a joke, but he played it very seriously, where she made a list for him, like 1 through 10. And he didn't realize that the number wasn't the quantity.
Oh, yeah.
So he like bought like 1 butter, and by the end he has like 10 boxes of cornflakes. He's like, I don't understand this at all, but okay.
Oh, God bless husbands.
Oh, husbands.
Oh, husbands. They're so cute. Their ineptitude.
It sounds like something that you would enjoy. It sounds like they take sampling to the next level, because they have like chefs in the restaurant. So they'll make like dishes from H-E-B products and sample those out to people.
That's really fun. I
Like I said, the warm tortillas, which sound great to me. I think they have butter tortillas, which I don't know the difference, but that sounds fantastic. Yeah, and it's all these things that they do. The using Texas products, like catering to your neighborhood, the community and everything. It's all those things that allow people to feel like they are seen and wanted. There was one customer that was like, I drive 45 minutes to go to H-E-B. I pass Albertsons, I pass Kroger, I pass Walmart, I pass Target, but I do it because honestly, when I'm there, I feel like they want me to be there.
So that's the employees must be treated really well, that they are prioritizing the customer experience, not just the business, but on a employee level.
Yeah.
Making sure that checkout conversation is like really friendly. I mean, that if you need any help, you feel like you're not like bothering somebody by asking them.
It's funny you say that, because I read a thing that was like, employees are encouraged, if they're like stocking the shelves, if it looks like someone needs help, you stop stocking the shelves, see what they need, take care of them, then go back to it. It's all about, and I do feel like post-COVID, post-whatever, we do live in a slightly more rough around the edges environment.
It's a little Wild West, a little every man for himself out there. And you and me both, we love service. We love a company that values service.
Yeah. Or we just don't want to be made to feel like
well, yeah, absolutely. And
we're not wanted.
It harkens back to an earlier time. And I feel like employees are being treated so badly at so many places that they're miserable, that then like the customers are miserable shopping there. So I love any company that has those values. And it sounds like they're doing a lot of like good charity work too. So this is a A+ in my book. And everything we got, I don't know if we talked about it a little bit before when we got the box from Julie, but everything we had was delicious.
Yeah.
So cute. You can just tell this is a company that loves its customers, and the customers love it back. So
yeah.
I can't wait to visit.
No, it's not all perfect. It's not all roses.
Okay.
Have they had some discrimination charges brought against them? Sure.
Okay.
Did they settle out of court so we don't know exactly what happened? Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Do they often, or I don't know if they still do, were ranked very low on the green chart? Like they've been accused of using like more bags and plastic bags than anyone else in the world. And their answer to it is usually like encouraging recycling programs instead of using less of them.
Okay, not ideal.
I don't know exactly the dates of all these things, but I didn't want it to seem like they were completely unblemished. The last thing I do want to talk about that they do that I think is fantastic is, for the last, it seems like 20 years, they have taken like emergency preparedness as a very big thing for the company. They have a whole emergency preparedness department. So like if there's a tornado, if there's an earthquake, if there's the pandemic, if there's a shooting. They have this whole, apparently it's very impressive to see. They have this whole army of semi-trucks that if the government sometimes have had issues like after like a hurricane where they can't get like water to a certain town, they call up HEB and they're like, hey, I know we're asking a lot. What can you do? They're like, we're on it. And you will see these semi-trucks going down. There's a bunk truck, which is like a semi-truck full of beds so people have a place to sleep that are like helping people out. There's a mobile kitchen truck where they can cook meals. They can cook somewhere between 52 to 6,200 meals an hour.
Oh my God.
They have mobile pharmacy, a mobile like business center. They have a mobile ATM, a mobile check cashing place.
Wow.
Generators and water tanks. So it's like if something goes down in any city, they can just plow in and have everything up and running to help people out. And people love that they know that is there.
That's great. So they're wasting a few bags. Who cares?
Right? That's what I'm like, okay. And from what I've heard, and our recycling program it could all just be fake. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I don't know. I've never heard of that from any other company, let alone a grocery store. So
yeah, I love that. Really wow.
So yeah, I think that's my take on HEB. I hope that, Julie, thank you so much for reaching out to us. And you didn't get picked only because you sent us a box of merchandise, but it definitely helped.
Certainly doesn't hurt.
We love stuff, as we mention all the time, and have a safe place for you to send it. But no, I looked into the brand. I thought it was a really interesting brand. I love learning about something that I know nothing about.
Yeah, a brand that we don't even have here locally that is it's so near and dear to so many people that like it's important to talk about, even though it's not on our like personal radar. I'm not going to Texas and not going to HEB. So
I know. What sucks is I went to Texas last year and I was like, I got to go to Whataburger, and I did, and I enjoyed it. I wish I had known about this, even though I think there's only like 3 in Dallas. I would have loved to have visited it. But
see you at the Eclipse.
See you at the Eclipse. Hopefully I can, again, if you work for an airline or
look
private.
for Jon. He'll be laying on a blanket with a pair of binoculars.
Binoculars?
Looking up at that moon.
He's blind as a bat.
Oh, wait, solar? I thought it was a lunar eclipse.
It's a totality eclipse.
Oh, total eclipse of the sun.
4 minutes of pure darkness.
I was calling you a moon man.
I know. I didn't want to. I was like, well, the moon is still involved, but I don't know why she's calling me a moon man. Sometimes I just let you have what you have.
You're a sun boy, not a moon man. You, binoculars staring at the sun.
I'm blind.
That's how you'll know it's Jon.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed learning about this. Like I said, we'll figure out the details, but we will do more of these fan brand episodes over the next year, and we'll figure out a way to make those work. So if you have a brand that you love that's local, or that maybe it's not local, it could be a national brand that we haven't done yet, that you have some connection to, we'll be reaching out and finding out what that is and why, and maybe we'll pick you and do an episode.
Yeah, a care package certainly could bring you to the top of the stack.
Oh, it really could. And she sent a lot of stuff. She sent like cookies and coffee and a candle and a blanket and a lot. I mean, listen, spending more than $500 seems crazy, but no, seriously. No, Julie, so there you go. There's your episode. Thank you so
Julie.
much.
Thank you to all the freaks. And as always, at the end of the episode, we want to thank you guys for leaving your lovely reviews on Apple Podcasts. Visit our Instagram at OnBrandThePod to see clips from the show and some supplemental photos and stuff that we've been chatting about. And we will be back next week with an all-new episode of On Brand.
And as we love to say, and I think this episode definitely proves it, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
See ya.
Bye.
Are you feeling stuck in your career or lacking employment at the moment? Experiencing symptoms of job dissatisfaction? You might be suffering from a common condition known as career stagnation. But don't worry, there's a solution. Monster.com. Monster.com offers a comprehensive suite of career-boosting tools designed just for you. Our free resume review and AI interview prep tool will help you stand out from the crowd. Need more guidance? Dive into our career advice articles for expert tips and insights. And don't forget to check out our salary tools to ensure you're getting paid what you're worth. Side effects may include a new job, increased confidence, and a brighter future. Consult Monster.com today and take the first step towards your new career. Ready for your next job opportunity? Visit Monster.com now.